ride out 15 here every day, 6 days a week. I let them out as much as possible, weather permitting. So I'll be back in the shed after bringing Ava and Jack to school from 20 to 8 onwards. I get my breakfast then whenever I feel a bit hungry, 10:30 or 11 or whatever. And I keep going then till late evening, so it could be 6 to 7 o'clock. Again, I feed the horses then. So it's a long, hard day. You work hard, but if you don't put in the work, you won't get any results. And look, when the horse won yesterday, I was just on cloud 9. I made what I do every day seem worthwhile. So nervous for everything to go right, and lucky, thank God it did go right, because I was just so happy with the horse going into the day and what he was doing. I was just hoping everything would go right. There'd be no point in me looking at walking the parks or them more fashionable sires, because I wouldn't be able to afford them. And I like this horse. He had great movement and he looked great temperament, and I just liked him. I thought he was just a nice, good looking horse. Lovely eye on him.
Darren, with you, 7,000 buys, thank you.
So when the hammer went down, I had to go and see who signed for him, and lucky enough, I knew Darren Dwyer. I knew that he worked with Paul Nolan years ago, and I had been speaking to him a few times on and off. And I asked him for half share of the horse. I met him later on today and I asked him again, and then he said, right, you can have him. So it took off from there, so we brought him home and we broke him. And we started him off there on poles and then barrels, and geez, he just done everything nice, a good, honest, sweet jumper. So Sandmason himself was a good sire. He would have got very little mares. Like, he had two very good horses there, Black Up and Summerhill Boy. I think both of them were trained by Tom George. And that's why I'd be interested in Sandmason's. So he'd have got local support of mares, but wouldn't have got a wide range of real good mares. Like, so what the sire covered, Sandmason covered, he's actually doing very well. He was in Coolmore. He could be the bee's knees, but sure, look, that's the way it is. We had a Sandmason last year. I had half of him as well, we called him Electric Mason. We were second in Tinahely last year, around the same time in February. And he went on. I sold him. Chris Gordon has him now. We got 110 for him. And we said he was good, a horse that had win a bumper. Probably has a lot of ability, but probably more immature than this horse at the present time. So on the first day out, he finished third in Ascot. And there 2 weeks ago, he won his bumper by a couple of lengths. And I hear that Chris Gordon holds him in high regard. So everything is looking bright for him now. So yesterday, Jack couldn't come because he's on a skiing trip with Cree College, his school in Gorey. Ava was too tired. She's actually 15 today, Monday. And so Marie came with me, my wife came with me, and she led up the horse along with Sean O'Rourke. And like, I owe my mother and father a lot there. Daddy Mammy passed away there last year. Mammy on the 31st of May and Daddy on the 20th of August. So that was a tough year. And but it was a day like it was like a day like yesterday, kind of makes everything better. Because the first man into the ring yesterday would have been Daddy. I doubt if he ever missed a point. Loved it. Every night he'd be stuck in the catalogue, and if he wasn't at the mare selling sheep or calves, he would be reading a catalogue and pedigrees, and loved that, and loved going racing and GA, and I suppose I followed on in the footsteps then, do you know what I mean? So got great ground, and how to work hard and appreciate then what you get by working hard. So I owe them a lot. Townsland is called Monosuta, so we call it Monosuta Stables. We have a barn here. It's 127 foot long and 60 foot wide. We've 18 stables in it, and we have a sand gallop there 4 furlongs up a hill, and we have a sand arena out there. It's probably the best thing I ever had. It's a nice big one. You can ride a horse around, canter around it, and we jump them in there a few days a week. You might only do one up the hill and go in there and do 10 or 15 minutes around that. I think it's great grounding. It's only a height of a barrel, so we have 2 barrels with a log on top of it, and we do a lot of jumping in there a couple of days a week, and I think it really grounds a horse. I didn't ride a horse till I was about 15. Rode a pony, and then Daddy had a mare called Camp Flower, and she actually gave Aidan O'Brien his first winner on her in Ballin. I actually led her up that day. I led her up there that day. What is it, Ballin? That's a good bit ago now. She bet a horse called of Padgeberry's Gallstown Lad by 20 lengths. My first ride was on Camp Flower in Thurles on the inside of the race course, and I think there was 5 in it, and Aidan O'Brien gave me instructions. He said, jump her off and she'll take you wherever she's happy. And I jumped off. I think there was only 6 in it. I jumped off last. Again, I got to the first. I was second. Again, I got to the second. I was in front, and I stayed in front. And I remember I was coming down the hill, and she was just starting to come off the bridle, and I didn't know what to do, kinda, because I was probably too young or inexperienced. And I said I'd sit, and I heard this great shouting and roaring and pushing, and I was in the bulge on forward gal, and now I jumped it, and that time, sure, I pushed her out a bit then, and I went to go give her a little flick, and I twirled my stick, and I missed her, and she tore off anyhow. And she galloped around the bend, and then the bulger was kind of coming alongside me saying, congratulating me, and I was saying, pull up. I was tired. I was knackered that day. When I finished school then, I worked for Jim Bulger for a few years. Good grounding there, very tough man, fair. You learned how to tack up well, be on time, dress well, be mannerly. Then I was always mad to go jumping, so I went worked for Padgeberry. I thought he was a fabulous trainer. Gave horses, we done plenty of road work, plenty of slow work, plenty of loose schooling, then horses school twice a week, and everything was slow, plenty of slow work. And when you were a young lad, you'd be mad for speed, a bit go faster and everything. But when we'd be hacking around the gallop, if Padge seen you going any bit out of a canter, he'd be out in the middle of the gallop waving you to go slower. So you'd be always just mad to go that little bit quicker. But when you what you learnt there was just second to none. So I brought that now with me training here. I do plenty slow work. We have this 4 furlong hill gallop here. We do plenty slow work. We bring him down to Arkle or Olbon, it's near Bertalans there, and we canter on the beach, do 3 or 4 miles, just steady cantering, and I think it really builds him up. I think I can actually see now, looking back when I worked on Padges, there's like 20 plus years ago, now I can see why the slow work was done, because just to do that groundwork into him, it just really brings on a horse so much. It's unbelievable. I rode around 16 point winners. There were way better amateurs than me out there, and I kind of wanted to go training then because I wasn't good enough to be a jockey. So the first horse I ever bought then was Climate Control. It was a Montelimar horse. Kevin Smith bought him, thank God, and he turned out to be a right good horse. I ran him. He ran his first race for me in Drumahane, and Lord of Mercy and John Thomas McNamara rode him, and he finished 5th that day in a 5-year-old Geldens, about 17 runner maiden, and he said that's a very nice horse. And I ran him the following Sunday, and David Russell rode him for me in Kilnick, and he won. bet a Padgeberry's horse. And the following Friday, as mad as I was, I ran him inside on Wexford Racecourse in the Winners of 2, and he won that also. He won a Hunter's Chase in Thurles. We won the Hunter's Chase in Downroyal, and he was favourite that year for the Christie's Fox Hunters. The way I'm set up at the moment, it's we try buy him or get half shares and run him and sell him on. But look, if I'm left a horse, I'd love to win the Christie's Fox Hunters.